Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. We are back together with you with today's best interviews. Let's watch together.
Huge congratulations, you just brought home McLaren's first win here in Bahrain, and we barely saw you during that race. I mean, we often say to drivers you made it look easy. I know it isn't, but just tell us, how good was the car today?
It was great. It was great. I think the first stint I could manage reasonably well, but I didn't quite know what the deck was going to be like, and then the second stint felt very comfortable, and then the final stint obviously very comfortable again. So very proud of the job everyone's done, including myself. I feel like I've done a good job this weekend and have the result that I wanted. So very, very happy.
It is looking like qualifying is particularly important this year. How proud are you of the work you did to be able to get that pole yesterday?
I mean, it made life much easier today, that's for sure. I think we saw with Lando that being in dirty air of other cars was still very difficult to get through. So not a lot.
Pretty good.
That was pretty good.
Happy man, Zach.
Job well done.
Thank you. I've still got my ribs intact this time as well.
Yes.
No, very, very happy. I think qualifying is a massive part, even around here, where I think we thought it would be less of a factor. It was still pretty useful to be a bit further up. So very happy.
He's coming for you, isn't he, your teammate, in terms of it's going to be one or other of you on a weekend. I know George got in there today, but the fight was on, or it is on, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tight year. I think we knew that from the start. I think, we've seen in a few weekends now that we can't afford to slip up because there's a lot of competition, fighting at our heels. But yes, I think, at the moment we have the strongest car out there. And we should be winning races. So very proud that we were able to do that this weekend.
Yeah, he had a very good performance all the week. He had a very dominant week with his car. Absolutely, McLarens were faster. Lando Norris had a little bit problem with his car, but we will comment it on when it will come to him. But if he talk for Oscar Piastri, he just got deserved what he was deserving. He had a little bit stress on a race when the safety car came out after the restart, but he very cleverly after the turn immediately started the race. Behind him was George Russell, and he was at the middle of the turn, and I think he had a better advantage than the George Russell. He just flat out and immediately opened that gap against George Russell. Let's listen to him what he's going to say.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy were you to see that checkered flag today?
Yeah, probably 9.5 to be honest. It was a really challenging race. We had all sorts of problems in the last 12 laps. It was called a brake by wire failure. So when I was hitting the brakes, the pedal was going all the way to the floor, and I had to do some resets, and it was coming back to me, and then the next corner it failed, so for 10 laps in a row, I didn't know, going into every corner, I didn't know if my brake would be solid or if it would be going to the floor. So really compromised the race, but at the end of the day, coming home in P2 was mega.
Also had issues with the DRS transponder, I believe, because actually whenever Lando or Charles got close, they weren't able to actually be sure in the fact that they had DRS or not, because the transponder wasn't sending the signal that would tell them if they were within a second.
Sounds a bit complicated.
Right, so I don't know whether it helped in the end or not, because they didn't know, but for you, how tricky was it dealing with that? And what were you dealing with in the car with that?
Nothing really, to be honest. I think every time I looked in my mirrors and they were within a second, they had DRS. And I wasn't using DRS, I was ahead. So that didn't compromise at all.
You've got to go and see the stewards about the DRS and about using it at a point where you weren't allowed to. What's your defence for that today?
There was technical problems. I backed off, and it was probably open for less than a second. So.
Are you able to just explain to people how it works, so people watching?
Well, I don't know
it's
why.
Triggered automatically, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how we got triggered. There was all sorts of problems going on with the transponder and the signals going to the car. So I honestly can't give you an answer because I was losing everything on my steering wheel as well. I had no data on my steering wheel. I lost all of that. So, I was really compromising that last stint. So, I don't know. It'd be exceptionally harsh just if something happened.
Well done dealing with all that and
Thank
still
you.
getting the P2.
Yeah, he just what a race for the George Russell. He had a lot of problems. He had Lando Norris on the last like 3 laps on his mirrors. He had a problem with his car, but at the end of the day, he just took that second position. But if there is a talk about the FIA and also stewards, I think there is still no decision about that DRS thing that happened to George Russell out of his control. Just the DRS opened on his car and immediately closed. But we will see what will happen. Maybe there is a chance if he gets any penalty to lost his second place to Lando Norris. If something like that happens, I'm not going to be surprised because of the FIA and FIA stewards. As you know, they have stupid decisions. But yeah, let's just say congratulations to the George Russell this season, to Lando Norris.
Lando, George thinks with another lap you would have got him and you'd have had that P2 today. I know you always want to win, but would you have been satisfied with that? And how are you feeling with a P3?
Mixed. I mean, my goal for today was P2, and I was P3. I mean, it was a good race. I think my recoveries every time from the mistakes that were made were good. With a 5-second penalty and having to let Hamilton go every time, or that one time, I paid the price. But mistakes that I shouldn't make in the first place. But the pace was, I think, pretty strong. Otherwise, it's always difficult to say when you're in dirty air and things. So, difficult. Whether I would have got George or not doesn't matter. I didn't, and positive that I got some points, and negative that we didn't achieve what we should have achieved.
What was the issue in the start box? It looked like you almost rolled
I just
forward at some point.
misjudged it. Nothing
Right. Okay. Well, it was tough at the start though. You got a great start and you got up into P3. The fight was there in you. How do you make this a better weekend next weekend? What are you going to work on?
That's a good question. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised I'm achieving anything I'm achieving at the minute with how I feel in the car. I'm like I said yesterday, I'm not comfortable. I'm not happy. I'm not feeling good. So to be getting these results that I'm getting at the minute, I'm so quite surprised by.
Can you tell us more about that? Why you're not feeling good in the car?
I mean, just something's not clicking. Something's not. I don't have an answer, so I can't give a good explanation of things. It's just when you're a driver and things just aren't clicking and just aren't coming together, then it's just difficult, and not difficult because I don't have the speed or the pace or whatever. I know I've got all of that. I'm confident that I've got all of those things. It's just for some reason I'm not able to show it, and just not able to drive in the way I want, or the speed's just not just flowing, and it's complicated. I don't have the answers now. We've got a lot of work to do as a team to try and understand these things, because I'm so confident I can do a great job, and considering how I feel, for me to have had a win and a P2 and some of these results, I'm surprised by that, even with how bad I feel, so just work to do. I keep my head down, I keep working hard. That's all I can do for now.
Race for you today.
Yeah, as expected, Lando Norris had a mistake at the start of the race, and it cost him 5-second penalty. After that, he just started to recover his race. His performance was very well, but I think he lost a lot of time behind the Ferraris, and it cost to him second place. It cost him second place for the race. But if you look at all of the race, I think Lando Norris had had a good performance. If that thing didn't happen at the start, I think that second place would be for Lando Norris. But as I said, as expected, he had that wrong start as always. Lando Norris is having he has struggles with the start. Just gave to George Russell that second position. Let's listen to Charles Leclerc.
You knew the McLarens had pace, and turns out the Mercedes could look after their car on those soft tyres at the end as well.
We are just not fast enough. That's the summary. We don't have that pace in the car. Mercedes were quite a bit faster in terms of, quite a bit better in terms of degradation compared to us. The soft, we couldn't keep them for long enough, but they could. So that was a surprise, but yeah, the pace was just not there, and it's just very disappointing when I think you do everything quite well, but it's only a P4.
I was going to say, I mean, tyre-wise, we heard you on the radio at one point, strategy probably didn't really come into it that much in the end once you had that safety car, I guess. It changed everyone's plans.
Yeah, I was in the opinion of doing something different at the beginning, which I think was the right thing. It ended up not being the right thing because there was a safety car that nobody could have known, but at the end, there's no regrets in a race like this, just we need to find some pace.
Like a much more.
Yeah, like Ferrari was struggling all week, but if you look, especially Charles Leclerc performance, his performance today was just amazing. He had a very well performance, and I think I'm sorry that upgrades worked out for both of the Ferraris very well. When the race started, and also the pit stop strategy. After a long time, we have watched the good strategies from the Ferrari, and also with that upgrades, I think Charles Leclerc just got best position for the Ferrari finishing there. Let's listen Lewis Hamilton what he's going to say about today.
Positive day for you. Tell us what you've picked up from today that's going to help you going forward, and how difficult is it to adapt to a new car? In commentary they were saying it's harder to move into a new car even with experience than it is coming in as a rookie almost.
I think what's clear is, I mean, us as humans, I guess we get really stuck in our ways, and I think I've been driving a certain style in a certain way with the same team for such a long time. I've moved to a new car, and it requires such different driving style and settings. Like I'm using engine braking, which we never ever used in the previous year. Much different brakes if you're on Brembos, and I've been on CIs for the last 15 years or so. So, and this car just requires a much different driving style, and so I'm adjusting to that, and I think I am slowly getting it into my head and getting the balance right. I think what's clear is that Charles starts with a setup and he stays with it pretty much all weekend, and I was a long way away from him last weekend and this weekend. And just before qualifying I go close to him, but then all the settings are all off. I haven't. So yeah, I got to do a better job through the weekend. I know I can, and I will.
It sounds like you're having to use so much more brain power now for all of this on top of the driving as well, the feel and the driving. It sounds exhausting, if that makes sense. No, it's not that you. No, it's just I've got to just make it easy for myself. Just doing it all the hard way at the moment. So I'll try next week to start in a better place and not deviate from that too much. As I said, I think I've figured out how the car likes to drive, so hopefully if I can apply that next week, if I can qualify better, I could have a much better weekend. So we'll see.
Yeah, let's hope to see Lewis Hamilton in a better shape and in a better Ferrari. But for today, I think its performance was very good, and he had a very good race. He just finished at the 5th position, and I think after that struggle on all week, he has the best possible race for today. We are at the end of with these interviews. Just don't forget to like the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel.